Do our FAN-MGT3-Paddles Pro paddles work with Fanatec's new QR2 disconnect? Yes, they do. And if you have the standard or the Pro QR2 disconnect, then you can stop watching. It works. There's nothing you need to do. Just simply replace the QR1 with the QR2 and you're good to go. However, if you have the QR2 Lite, the plastic version, then you will need to disassemble it to install our paddles, and this video is for you. What I have here is the traditional plate that we use on our paddles. This particular plate works on all of the disconnects, all of the QR1s, all of the QR2, the standard, the Pro, except for the the QR2 Lite. We do have to use a plate that is cut out a little bit. The strength seems to be sufficient. If you have a choice, go ahead and go with the QR2 standard. It's easier to assemble. Plus you're getting a little extra material. You know the strength's there. We've tested that. It seems to work fine. All right, so let's go ahead and take this QR2 Lite apart so that we can install it onto our McLaren wheel. First thing we're going to do is remove these 4 torque screws. These are a T20? Yes, a T20 torque screw. I believe the face of the Fanatec wheel actually uses a T10, but this is one size up, a T20. We're going to go ahead and remove these screws. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a small flathead screwdriver of some sort or something that will fit into these slots. What we're going to do is we're going to put the screwdriver in and give just a slight tweak. There's a little plastic tab in there. We're going to insert the screwdriver in this particular picture. Let me get it in there. And you'll usually hear it snap, just a little click, I should say. Oh, that one came off easy. You'll usually hear them click. Right here you'll see a tiny little arrow and another tiny little arrow. Those arrows indicate up. So that would be the top of the wheel, bottom of the wheel. We'll need to keep track of those as we put it together. So we'll take the cover plate off. There's the plastic tangs that we popped out. Now we need to remove these 2 bars. And what we can do is simply pull it back and they will just drop right out. Now once we do that, we'll go ahead and release this, and there's going to be 4 springs in there. Those springs generally stay in place, and there's pins that those springs will go in when we reassemble. Anyways, once we have this apart, now we can go ahead and bring our wheel in. And we're going to align it. The QR2 Lite has the pin on it basically telling the wheel that this is the light adapter, and it does limit the torque in some cases, but we're going to line that pin up with the hole in the wheel. Once we have that in place, my wires are not long. There we go. If your wires are not long enough, go ahead and run it through here first. And if I can get it in the camera, you'll see. Hopefully you can see the alignment. And that is the material that we had to remove for the QR2 Lite. Go ahead and pop that on there. And then you can go ahead and put it in place on the wheel. All right, and then we could assemble the QR2 Lite now. It's easier to actually put our screws in first. So I will do that. Okay, now that I have all my bolts holding my QR2 Lite on, I can go ahead and reassemble it. Again, our indicator arrow should be facing up. This is the top of the wheel. This ring does have to be oriented properly. Whoops, there we go. There are 4 pins on the back side, very narrow pins. Those go through the springs, and it only goes one way. It either goes that way or it goes that way. There doesn't seem to be an indicator on it. So just try one way And you can see that that is not fitting. So all I need to do is turn it 180 degrees. There we go. I've got my springs lined up with the pins, and I can see that it will compress onto the adapter now. So I'm going to lay that flat. I compress that. And then we need to take our pins and put them back in. And they go in this direction. Okay. And the pins, you'll notice that they need to be inside of this plastic, let's call it a barrier, so they stay in place. And then as we operate the disconnect, they're good. Okay, so all we have left, we're almost done. All we have left is our cover. Again, the cover should have, it's an up arrow. We're going to line that with the top of our wheel. There we go. Get all four of the clips in there before you press. And then go ahead and just snaps in place. And then we just have to put our 4 torque screws on. And then our disconnect is all back together.